is blaming Trump. So they do got the locations of what's going on. All right, all right. Thank y'all for keeping me in the loop. Thank y'all for keeping me in the loop. Y'all keeping me in the loop. Gavin Newsom is blaming Trump for what is happening in Los Angeles, and I can't believe it. And so, of course, he went on MSNBC. I'm going to go ahead and deep dive into that interview. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Don't get any from nobody. Nah. Snow bunnies and nobody. They got briefcase butts. I don't know what that is. Straight down. Whoop, whoop. And I don't mind a little bit of briefcase. I'm cool with a little bit of briefcase, but you got to do some squats or something. You got to work on that, baby girl. Let's get to it, y'all.
I'm inside the Emergency Operations Center run by the County of Los Angeles here with Governor Gavin Newsom. Governor, thanks for joining us live on MSNBC.
Good to be with you.
So this is, as I said...
Wait. What you mean they looted the Jordan store, Justin B? Well, they got some Team Jordans? What you mean looting the Jordan store? What they got some Team Jordan signed by Marcus Jordan? What's at the Jordan store in Los Angeles? Stop.
Emergency Operations Center. I wonder how you would characterize the events that are unfolding in Los Angeles right now. Is it an emergency? Is it Fox News is calling it the LA riots? Is it a peaceful protest? What's happening? What are you seeing?
Well, I mean, look, Donald Trump has created the conditions you see on your TV tonight. He's exacerbated the conditions. He's, lit the proverbial match. He's putting fuel on this fire ever since he announced he was taking over the National Guard. An illegal act, an immoral act, an unconstitutional act, and we're going to test that theory with a lawsuit tomorrow.
Well, I was going to ask you that. Sorry to interrupt you, but Governor, so that's news. If you're going to sue the administration, tell me a little bit about it. Give us a preview of this lawsuit.
Well, under his executive order, it specifically notes, and under what the DOD did, is they had to coordinate with the governor of the state. They never coordinate with the governor of the state. I've worked with the National Guard. We've deployed the National Guard. We did 3,000+ folks have been doing logistics work and fire recovery work, and they're fighting the fires, the rattlesnake teams. We did the same back in George Floyd. We have no problem working collaboratively in a mutual aid system with local law enforcement, but there's a protocol, there's a process. He didn't care about that. And the worst part, he completely lied. He said in a tweet that everything's now safe, everything's fine. Is that the case, Mr. Trump? He said because he deployed the National Guard. The Guard hadn't even been deployed when he said this. It's Orwellian. Simply lying to people. Unconstitutional, illegal act. His mess. We're trying to clean it up.
There are people that in this comments, because one of the things that I like to do is I like to go and read the comments so that I can understand what the sentiment is, because I'm always curious as to what liberals or Democrats are thinking and if they actually support this guy. There are people that actually looked at this interview and they said, man, Gavin Newsom, he really should be president of the United States of America. That's what they say. I said, what? Do y'all realize that he's run this entire state into the ground? He's run the state into the ground. Democrats are doing nothing. Nothing. Do you know what they did? They instructed the Los Angeles Police Department to stand down and to only prevent them from committing crimes and stuff like that. It wasn't until Trump came into place that he said, all right, listen, y'all, we got to start arresting these people. We got to identify the offenders, anybody that put their hands on an ICE officer, all of this stuff. There's no reason that these people should tear up businesses, all of that. Trump has got to be the governor of California. He got to be the mayor of California. I heard that Gavin Newsom, I can't tell y'all. I can't substantiate this, so this is nothing but speculation based off of my sources, okay? I heard from some really credible sources that when all of this went down, that Gavin Newsom was actually working on his next podcast episode. I can't confirm nor deny. It may absolutely be false. But what my sources are telling me, and I got some pretty good sources here, guys. What my sources are telling me is that when all of this started to go down, Gavin Newsom was preparing to record his next podcast episode. Now, I don't know how true that is. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's true. But all I can do is give you the news and let you know what's going on.
You're saying that the President of the United States has made the situation on the ground here in Los Angeles less safe. What do you know about immigration enforcement?
Brian the filmmaker says, AAD, do we need to RSVP for the meetup? No, you just got to pull up. You just got to pull up. Don't put the address out there, but we're going to be on the rooftop. We're going to take over, and we're going to be having a good time. Shout out to DC. End of the month, we going up. Well, not on a Tuesday. On a Saturday, we going up. You just got to pull up. Pull up. Have a good time. Bars going to be open. We just going to have a good time. We just going to take over. That's what we do.
Today, has there been any ICE raids in the city today? Are they coordinating with you on that at all? Are they giving you a heads up?
Of course they're not coordinating. That said, we were told in just a recent briefing just a few minutes ago there was small activity in the county and not in the city proper. But look, you made a point a moment ago. These images are unacceptable. These kids on the car, the folks that are taking advantage of this, these aren't peaceful protesters, a lot of these folks, a lot of great people out there doing the right thing. But you get these insurgent groups coming in, sort of these anarchists that are in there to create real problems. And they're just playing right into Donald Trump's hand. And they need to be called out. They need to be arrested. It is wrong to destroy other people's property. And it is wrong to create the conditions that only exacerbate this. But Donald Trump,
he said they need to be called out, not that they need to be arrested, not that they need to be prosecuted, not that they need to be held accountable. He said they need to be called out. Let me rewind it for y'all. And this is what a liberal mayor / governor is doing inside of California. Him and Karen Bass they're not trying to actually hold these people accountable. They just say, hey, call them out. Call them out. Just call them out.
And they need to be called out. They need to be arrested. It is wrong to destroy other people's property, and it is wrong to create the conditions that only exacerbate this. But Donald Trump, at the end of the day,
Trump's fault,
is the sponsor of these conditions.
Let me give you the opportunity. You mentioned that there are people out there causing mischief and mayhem. What's your message to those people who are out there tonight? Not the peaceful protesters that are out there protesting for the rights of immigrants, but for the people that are doing damage to buildings, to law enforcement out there.
Well, they're doing more than damage to buildings and to property. They're potentially damaging the very foundation of our republic. The democracy.
I'm glad that he admitted that this is a republic. Very few Democrats slip up and actually tell y'all that. They'll tell y'all that this is a democracy.
Is in the balance. I mean, you're seeing these authorities.
Frosty says, you're just talking. You don't know what's going out here in Cali. Man, fuck Cali. Give a fuck about Cali, that piece of shit state. You care nothing about dog. What you think? Y'all state is trash. Y'all operating at I know more about your state than you. I know more about your state than you. I bet you don't even own no property out there in California. You can't even afford it. They done priced you out. Black man. Black man. You think we care anything about your liberal piece of shit state? We don't care about y'all. We don't care about nothing y'all got going on. We think we should leave it to y'all. Leave y'all to yourselves. Let you eat your own. Let you eat your own. Give a fuck about your state. Man, you don't know nothing about Cali. You don't know what's going on out here. Shaking my head. Shut the fuck up. Give a fuck about no Cali. Grown ass men 40 and 50 years old still gang banging. Yo, say everything, y'all whole culture is a piece of shit. I'm going to be the one to tell you the truth. Everything in California is a piece of shit. Y'all don't even got Dr. Phil no more. Dr. Phil left y'all. They don't even film movies over there in California. Give a fuck about no California. If I never visit that side of the state, it's 49 other states that's doper than California. You don't even know nothing about Cali. I'm looking at it on the news. It's trash. I've been to Cali multiple different times. You know what I get when I'm walking down the street? Doo-doo on my shoes. Doo-doo on my shoes. All of your fucking entitlement programs and all of these stupid migrants, illegal migrants over here getting all of these free government programs and y'all overtaxed. Man, listen, don't come at me. Come at your governor. Come at your legislators. They always want to comment on the people that's talking about what's happening over there. You ain't got no smoke for Gavin Newsom. Go talk to Karen Bass. Go talk to your neighbors. Go talk to the people that's robbing people next door. Give a fuck about your punk ass city. Clean it up. Clean it up. You don't know nothing about Cali. You don't either. You don't own a piece of property, a piece of land in California. You ain't got a job to offer nobody. You ain't got an opportunity to give to nobody. That's why every time somebody that emerges from the smoke to actually do something, accomplish something, then y'all want to champion them as y'all next leader. That's why y'all sucking Kendrick dick so hard. Kendrick don't even be in Cali. He be staying in New York. You don't know nothing about Cali. You don't either. You don't either. You ain't been to the north side of the state. You ain't been to the southern side of the state. You from your neighborhood. You from your hood. That's it. You your hood that you don't own no property in. Cali. You don't know nothing about Cali. I know more about your state than you do. You don't even know your budget. I bet you ain't even vote. I bet you not even a registered voter. Can you vote? Can you even vote, or do you have a felony on your record? Because we know that most of the people, most of the black people in California, they don't vote. Urban community in California, don't even worry about it. They're not going to the polls. Your fate going to be determined for you. You don't know nothing about Cali. You right. I don't want to know nothing about your punk ass state. Got to send a National Guard to stop y'all from destroying your own buildings. Y'all culture is trash.
Authoritarian tendencies now are being acted out by this administration. And we're case in point as it relates to nationalizing, federalizing the National Guard, threatening now to put in Marines. So I hope these people would pause and just consider. Now, some of them, they want that kind of chaos. Some ways.
They said Kendrick, look, check this out. Kendrick just won 5 BET Awards last night, my boy. Kendrick didn't even show up to the BET Awards. He don't even give a fuck about your black award. BET is not even owned by black people. It's called the Black Entertainment Network, and no black person has any equity into it. Who still watches BET? I probably got an award sitting over there at the BET Network. You know, the only person that make content for BET is Tyler Perry. And the only content the good content, he put that on Netflix. The stuff that he keep dressing in a dress for and that he keep on putting the sassy content for, he put that on BET Plus. You pay for that. You and your grandmama watch BET Plus. That's why they keep running Baby Boy reruns every other weekend. BET, he won 5 BET Awards. Shut the fuck up. You don't even know nothing about it. You don't know Kendrick wouldn't spit on you if you was on fire.
They're adjacent to where Donald Trump is. But the peaceful protesters, we want to keep them safe. We want them to exercise their fundamental rights. We want to keep those that are enforcing the laws in a respectful and responsible way also safe. But Donald Trump needs to pull back. He needs to stand down. Donald Trump is inflaming these conditions. This is Donald Trump's problem right now, and if he can't solve it, we will.
He continues to,
it's supposed to be your problem, and you need to solve it before he steps in. That's the way that it works. That's the chain of command. Mayor, governor, president.
He's hit you hard publicly. Just 10 minutes ago, he put out another Truth Social telling you and the mayor to apologize to the people of Los Angeles. You guys go at it pretty hard publicly, but I know you talk privately. Have you spoken in the last couple of days to the president about any of this?
Yeah, we talked for almost 20 minutes, and this issue never came up. I mean, I kept trying to talk about L.A. He wanted to talk about all these other issues. We had a very decent conversation.
When was this?
This was late Friday night, I think about 1:30 plus his time.
After the protests had started here.
After the protests, and he never once brought up the National Guard. He's a stone-cold liar. He said he did. Stone-cold liar. Never did. It was a very civil conversation. I've always wanted to approach engagement with the President of the United States in a respectful and responsible way. But there's no working with the President. There's only working for him. And I will never work for Donald Trump.
Did you mention at all to him in that phone call on Friday night the types of raids that were happening in your state on Friday? You know, there are reports that and video of enforcement operations happening in ways that they haven't traditionally. ICE officers going to Home Depots around Los Angeles and picking off day laborers. Did you bring that up with him?
The conversation started with the frame of what's happening in L.A. He immediately pivoted to other interests. and other things.
Do you think he was aware of what was happening in Los Angeles?
I think I'm more than aware. And obviously, he was setting this up to take these additional steps.
This was a setup.
And well, I'm not saying he was setting things up. I'm not saying it was a setup. But clearly, they were in the process of moving to these next steps because out of nowhere, just a few hours after that conversation, he moves to pull the trigger under this construct under Title X and then created and exacerbated the conditions that are persisting today.
He just be talking. He marketing himself. Shout out to Gavin Newsom for marketing himself.
Authority normally to deploy the National Guard here. Right. You did it. We were together after the fires, and those National Guard troops have been out all across Los Angeles working to rebuild and recover this city. How did you find out that the President of the United States was going to usurp your authority and deploy your National Guard here in California?
I got a call from a staffer. No heads up whatsoever. And again, we're here to support local law enforcement. There's a mutual aid process. Local law enforcement had no needs. They were not requesting any additional resources. I've got 100 now. I have 175 CHP officers, technically trained officers, tactical teams to address Donald Trump's mess. We are here to support local law enforcement, the sheriff's office, LAPD, but they didn't need that support.
Meanwhile, they rioting, they looting, they tearing up Apple stores, they breaking into the Adidas store, they breaking into CVS and stealing all of the stuff. They destroying cop cars. Waymo is practically out of business. Can't nobody catch a Waymo no more. Everything is just completely out of order and in chaos in Los Angeles. But we don't need no help. They got it. I'm caught in between two perspectives right now. Because on one hand, you know, I know that this is the United States of America, and unfortunately, Trump, like a good parent, has to govern everybody, even though they didn't vote for him, even though they got a completely, just like a bad kid, and they don't even know what's best for themselves. And so Trump got to step in. But on the other hand, I'm thinking to myself, maybe we should just leave them to themselves.